transforming through opposites. Transforming and creating through opposites. I think that's what I called it. So, you're going to have a piece of paper. And yesterday I was talking about, yesterday we went through the houses, and we were talking about the signs and how it's important that you understand where you are in a chart. That you are at the center of your chart. All right. And we were talking about mistakes that you miss, that astrologers leave out when they are going over your sign. So I just want to come in and just add on today to that. I said I was going to give y'all a class every day. A couple of you all know that I'm also having a class, that my online course is over at Coach K Astrology. .info. Everything is 50% off right now. Whoa. Live free. 50 is the code. That goes for the Keep It Simple Astrology course. That goes for any consultations, and that's up until June the 17th. All right. So, if you'd like to really get into learning this for yourself, which is what I am hoping. Peace, Samantha. What's going on? What up, Terrell? I am just trying to give a little bit of what's inside the course, or what are some of the things that you'll be able to do when you learn astrology. I've been studying astrology since 2001, 2002. And a lot of times people will come and they don't even understand the aspects of how this thing is laid out. So I'm trying to give out some more basics. But today we're going to be talking about transforming through opposites. So even though some people may be thinking that this is advanced, is really not. And it's just some things that a lot of people are overlooking. I could have called this, what's the difference between horoscopes and astrology? I probably could do that after I do this, and then I come up with something else tomorrow. But so first off, I just wanted everybody to know how you draw your own chart. Please go get some paper and pen. Please share the video. Somebody's going to need this Astro 101. What up, Tina? What up, T? Laura Henderson. Monique is in the building. Press 2 if you shared this. And if you got any other topics that you want me to answer, definitely I'm going to have a Q&A after that. So these houses, right? A lot of times astrologers will go in and give you a reading, and then you don't even know how to draw your own chart up. So this isn't really sexy, but I'm kind of just on the dry erase board and kind of winging it. But you have 12 houses, right? But this chart is actually divided up in half. You know what? I can, yeah. Let me do that. Ooh, I'm getting ready to get fancy. That's why I like dry erase boards, because I can just start over. Watch this. You can keep the same one that you drew, but I'm gonna draw another one because I got all my colors out here. Bow. Okay, so and then we're always gonna put me in the middle. All right, this makes sense. So the first 6 houses are personal. So I call that the internal. I'm gonna still put my lines up in black though. I'm gonna put my basics up. So no, we always start with our quadrants, right? But the first 6 houses are personal. This is like growing up. This is like 1 through 6, like 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old. So 6-year-old, you go into first grade. So you have this, this point here. You're crossing a plane and you're about to leave the house. So all of this is personal. That's why it's important to like really know where you at on the floor. Okay, so then the second set of houses this is when you leave the crib, right? Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is social. This is all of this. So remember when I was remember yesterday I was talking about you can read a chart and you don't even have the planets set in there, or even if you don't know like what the planets are and all that, is very important for you to realize what part of the chart you're on, like where are the houses, why the houses. But then if I have more planets over, this is the southern quadrant. And this is the northern quadrant. So it's kind of like upside down, right? So this is the north, and this is where you start. So yesterday we went with the, I am, I have, I speak, I feel, I will, I analyze. Now there's more words for each house, but these are just the basics, right? And then, what up, Monique? Then up here you have I relate, I desire, I see, I use, I know, I believe. So understanding the fundamentals about astrology is going to take you a long way, like looking at life, right? So when you're 1-year-old, people want to know like learning your name. When you're 2 years old, you start putting things in your mouth and you want to start possessing things. 3-year-old, you start developing speech. 4-year-olds, you start developing feelings. You probably, by now you can talk and you can tell somebody, I love you. 5 is I will. So when you're 5 years old, now you're ready to play. You're trying to ready to enforce your will. And 6, I'm analyzing things. This is first grade. So this is kindergarten. And then when I start to analyze, I know you can't read that, but that says I analyze for the 6th house. First grade, you start to like getting lined up. And now when you cross this plateau, you start becoming more social, right? Your mother and them was trying to keep you at the house for a minute, everything was really tight from 6. But after you started to hit 7, I relate. You're in the 2nd grade. So then you start to have relationships. Somebody start asking you, do you have a boyfriend or girlfriend at school? I desire, 8 years old. So now you get to 3rd grade, and then there's a transformation that starts to happen with I desire. 3rd grade is where you start to go deep. They start to teach you your multiplication in 3rd grade. 4th grade, I see. And this is a long distance trip. This is away from the house, international. And then 10 years old, the 10th house, you could look at them like years, remember? And now it's time for responsibility. The 10th house is responsibility. 11th house, this is the house of socializing. Now you got friends. And 12th house, now somebody trying to take you into church. You've been going to church, but now they asking you, are you saved? You're about to become an adult. And when you get ready to come back across your rising sign, and now you're 13. 12 plus 1, give me 13, 14, 15, right? So now you're hitting you really coming in the stride, and that's when they give you a bar mitzvah. At 13 years old, what are they telling you? They're telling you that you're an adult. So each of these houses, knowing the foundation, is like crazy, crazy important of just like what these, like, but the part I really want to put y'all at is just like the social side and the personal side and how you create. Okay. So today I'm just going to go through and just use typical signs and talk about how you would create through your opposite sign. Creating through your opposite sign. So can I get y'all to type that? How do I create through my opposite sign? So, creating through my opposite sign. Or transformation through opposites. Even though there's 12 houses, there's 6 signs. So there's Aries and Libra. They're on the same axis. Okay? Aries and Libra are on the same axis. Do I have 6 colors? I do have 6 colors. Glad I got that green right there. Taurus and Scorpio are on the same axis. Okay? Who's this? Gemini and Sagittarius are on the same axis. Cancer and Capricorn are on the same axis. All right, you got that? It's your opposites. Another color here, place. Got me. Leo and Aquarius are on opposite axes. I'm going to just stick with the black since I got it right here. And then Virgo and Pisces are on opposite axes. If you are an Aries, your shadow sign is Libra. If you're a Taurus, your shadow sign is Scorpio. If you're a Gemini, your shadow is Sagittarius. The shadow of Cancer is Capricorn. The shadow of Leo is Aquarius. And the shadow of Virgo is Pisces. And vice versa. If you're a Libra, your shadow is Aries. If you're a Scorpio, your shadow is Taurus. If you're a Sagittarius, your shadow is Gemini. And if you are a Capricorn, your shadow is Cancer. If you are an Aquarius, your shadow is Leo. And if you are a Pisces, your shadow is Virgo. If you understand this so far, please press 4. Just press 4 if you understand this part thus far. All right. Next is, why is that important? Because my hand is tangible, right? My hand is tangible. Oh, I can use this table. So look, my hand is tangible, and my So I can touch that. But the shadow is not tangible. I can't touch it, but it's real. You see what I'm saying? My shadow does everything that my hand does. But it's not, it's real, but it's not tangible. This is tangible. I can touch it. This is not. So this is a reflection of this is what I have going on. So a lot of times when you keep talking about, oh, I'm an Aquarius, ooh, 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 but you're missing the shadow, which is Leo. You have to go into, if you really want to know about your hand, you're going to have to look at this shadow period. That's where it's coming from, because we create from the void. This is the darkness, right? So even though it looks like the hand is reacting or the shadow is reacting to the hand, could it be the other way? You are creating through your opposites. All right. What up, Reggie? Please share the video. Press 2 if you share this video. Let somebody else know a little bit about transforming and creating through the opposites. So when it's time for you to make a move, Mr. or Mrs. Aries. Oh, I didn't see any zodiacs. I'm Team Taurus, Atlanta, Georgia. Please drop your zodiac team so I can just show you on the chart how you create from your solar opposite. All right. These are just the basics. I haven't even brought no planets in. These just the basics. Thank you for sharing too. So I'm Team Taurus. So guess where my creation is at? In Scorpio. So I create through my desires. Ooh, you see how easy that was? When it's time for me to transform, my desires are going to transform me. Because this is I desire, I transform, I go deep. So that is the opposite of Taurus. So my transformation of how I create operates through my desires. Team Pisces. Team Pisces transforms through his analytical side. I analyze, I serve, because that's the key words for Virgo. I analyze, I serve, I perfect. So when the Pisces wants to create, or when the Pisces wants to start transforming, the Pisces has got to come over to Virgo and operate out of the shadow. Got me? All right. Team Leo. What up, T. Barton? When Team Leo wants to create, they have to go into what they know. They can't just be going and say, I'm just going to force it. So sometimes the Leo, the fire sign, is like, yo, I just want to just make it happen. My sheer willpower. That's not how you create, Leo. You create from going to get the knowledge. You got to go over here to Aquarius and transform and create through Aquarius, right? That's your shadow nature. You need to get a real one. My birthday is 6/21, arguably Gemini. Okay, well, set up you can go to astro.com and put it in. So it depends on what year you were born too. That's a good one right there, Monique, because sometimes this circle is not exactly circle. So on some days it may be the 20th, or some days it may be the 21st, some days it may be the 22nd. You have to put in and see what year you are. So if you want to go to Coach K Astrology, don't forget to put in Live Free 50. Everything is 50% off until the 17th. All right. Everything. And I'm talking about the Keep It Simple Astrology course where you learn all of this, where your children learn all of this. When you got your kids on the playground, if I was 12 and knew this right here, when I was on the playground about how do I create through my opposites, this is the whole seesaw thing. Nobody was ever really telling me. And the fulcrum was me. Yesterday we had a lesson, but guess what? I'm still at the center. The house numbers are the same, but now we just knowing that, hey, this is my personal side. So if I'm a Taurus, I got to go into the social to get my desires. If the Scorpio comes in and they're trying to transform, they got to come personal. You're just using big words. All this is common sense. Right. So let's do Gemini. If you're a Gemini, guess where you create at? You create through what you see. You create through your knowledge base, your philosophy. This is Sagittarius. You got to go over here, Team Gemini, and look at the big picture. What's the philosophy? Geminis are like ideals, my personal ideals. If it's a social ideal, then what is it? It's a philosophy. You have to expand from what your personal opinion is. Geminis are very opinionated. That's why people always got something to say about them. They always got an opinion. But a philosophy, the Sagittarius is always going to give you that philosophy. You got to up level. Right? Oh, I know the other lesson I wanted to teach today. Bam! Watch what I'm getting ready to do. It just came back to me. If you're a Cancer, though, then you have to create through Capricorn. You got a Capricorn through what you use and utilize. All right? If you are a Cancer, you got to get out of your feelings and get into some rules, regulations, and restrictions, utilizing things. Cancers love to be personal and go into the shell. But if you want to transform or create, guess where you got to go, Cancer? Outside. You got to come outside your shell, Cancer, in order to create. Samantha, you just got here. We're not doing compatibilities. We're doing transformations. How do you transform through opposites? Everybody always wants to know about compatibility. I do that tomorrow. Yeah, that's thank you very much for tomorrow's class. But if you're asking about are they they're opposites, but it doesn't mean that they help transform one another. Where does Scorpio live at? In Taurus' shadow. Where does Taurus live at? In Scorpio's shadow. The question ain't about who's compatible with who. It's about, do you know you? You ain't compatible with nobody if you don't know who you are. Did you hear what I just said? Nobody's compatible with the most compatible person knows who they are. They know where they are on the chart. Is that clear? The most compatible person knows I'm at the center of the chart. I consist of all 12 zodiac signs. And then whenever anybody comes in, I know how to relate to them because I know me. If you don't know you, then how are you compatible with somebody? Gotcha. Yeah, everybody's always, thank you very much. But you bring up a good point though. You bring up a good point. Team Leo, you got, like I said, you got to go across the street to Sagittarius. You can't just get it done by just your willpower. So, does everybody see the simplicity in how you have to transform, right? Now, watch this other piece. Watch this. A tree is green, right? We'll get a little fancy. So check it. This tree that we just drew is the bottom of the tree are the roots. Right? The top of the tree are the limbs. So where you grow up, that's why we say the fourth house is the home. This is where you coming from. So like for me, I have Sagittarius ruling the fourth house. We just kept moving. I moved a lot. The Sagittarius piece. When I was young, I ended up in a much bigger house than what I started off with. And now as I grow up and I come to the top, the limbs where the life force is at, here is the 10th house is also the house of fame, right? So when you look at how you grew up, your roots, the opposite of growing up is going into the social. So see how the tree grows up to the top? You're going to have to go out from where you started and go up like the tree because your fruit is being bared out here, right? So when you look at your chart and see, man, I got a couple planets down here, a couple planets over there. You know that's how your life pattern is going to look. That's how your life pattern is going to look. This making sense so far? I'm about to erase all of this and go right back into the opposites. Okay? So this tree here, this tree is you. This tree is your life. This tree is your life. So this is where you coming from. Home, where you grew up at, to what you're famous for. When you when it's making sense down here, this is your mother. So remember last night we were talking about that's the queen, the ma, and then this sector over here, section 4, that's the princess. Cinderella. So the princess is the daughter to the mother. You see that? Just like the prince is the son to the king. You got it? The thing I like about that's why I love dry erase boards, because when you got your astrology game on, you don't need a laptop and a computer all the time. You just need a nice dry erase board. Now watch how I draw the same thing back, and you're going to get that understanding. Bam. I always show this to clients. You came to Earth to grow. Growth is the purpose. Some things that up here are the tree limbs, and that's sweet fruit. At the bottom of the tree, you got bitter roots. Now, if you watch this from the beginning, you should still have the entire chart in your mind superimposed over this tree, right? And so we say, yo, growth is the purpose, everything else is the results. Everybody type that. Growth is the purpose, everything else is the results. So the bottom half of the chart the first 6 signs, first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the personal. This is the root. This is your foundation, where you came from, right? This is where I'm growing up at. I'm trying to get to the top of the tree, where the sweet fruits are. But down here, often we say this is the disagreeable. People are always saying, well, I want to hear something good. I want to hear something bad. Nah, listen. There is no bad and there is no good. You're either dealing with the bitter roots or you're dealing with the sweet fruits. If you're dealing with the roots, often you're saying that's disagreeable. And with the sweet fruits, that's what you agree with. Agreeable, right? That's the top of the tree. Growth is the purpose. Everything else is the result. But we get jacked up and saying, oh, I'm a Leo, I'm a Taurus, I'm this, I'm that. But we're not looking at things holistically. You have to look at things holistically if you're going to really want to get down here and get your function on. Why do I have both of these out? Same color. Ain't that crazy? It's all right. But then when I keep coming around, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Y'all see the circle? Who can still see the circle? And you create through your opposites. Whatever these roots are going to be played out over here in the fruit. If I started off in the sweet, so let's just say I think Dante is a Gemini. I might do him. So let's say somebody's sun is in the 11th house and they are they team Gemini. Well, guess what? The transformation and how they create is through the 5th house, which now will be ruled by Sagittarius. You create through your opposite. That's why it's not 12 signs. It's only 6 signs. You're only 6 signs. What up, Team Pisces? You are only 6 signs. That's why I like, even if you looking at strictly horoscope, Okay, Dante's Capricorn. Even if you are looking at the horoscope, you should be looking at your sign and your shadow if you're reading horoscopes. I wouldn't even be reading horoscopes, but hey, if you're on an island and if you haven't taken the course, don't forget, you can go to coachkastrology.info. Live Free 50 gives you 50% off until the 17th. Everything I have, you can get a full reading. You can get the astrology course, which is lifetime access. When you use the code Live Free 50, you get 50% off until the 17th. And then you can learn, you can do this yourself. This is for me, this is parenting 101. How I can observe my child growing up. Your child going to be with you for 18, 20, 50, 11 years or whatever. I want to understand, how do they transform, right? So then Dante said he's a Capricorn. Boom. So if his son is in the 6th house, guess where Dante's transformation is at? Over here in Cancer. The opposites. You create through your opposite. And the opposite of Capricorn is rules, regulations, and restrictions. When Dante has to go and transform through his feelings. He got to use magic to do his transformations. He can't just do it through just being rock hard like a Capricorn. He can use that as his base, but when he wants the mutation and he wants the alchemy, he's going to have to go over here and do it through do it through Cancer. So, this tree, now watch how the chart just fall back into place. Ooh. Pow, you see that? Who's at the center of the chart? Right there at the W. Me. First thing we do, section that bad boy off. This thing look familiar yet? Remember yesterday we had the quadrants? 1, 2, 3, 4. Spoke to Sister Myra last night. Definitely want to give her a big shout out about this Royal God Astrology. All of this is taught inside the course. 6 is Virgo, 12 is Pisces. Now, I'm just laying it out on a macro level. Even though that Virgo rules this, Virgo is the normal placement for 6th house, you could have your son, you could be an 8th house Virgo and then have Pisces in the 2nd. Okay? And Aries on the 3rd. So that's why the rising sign is so important. I guess I better have that conversation again right quick. So, and then what happens? Boop, boop, boop. You still see the tree though, don't you? The tree, it's kind of getting fuzzy. But you see that growth is the purpose, everything else is the result. When you're looking at the astrology chart, you're actually looking at how you grow up, how you mature. That's why when people come and they say, I need to get a reading, they really asking for, how do I get my transformation on? How am I doing my transformation? I want to create something else than what I've been doing. First thing I got to do is go look at what the opposite sign is. And I got to go look at the rest of the planets as well, but your astrologer needs to know what these basics are. You need to know these basics. So then when you go to another professional, you get to talk and go faster. I don't know why people are always talking about the cusp. Gemini, Cancer, cusp. What's up, Winter Garden? You are one or the other. You're not cusp, okay? So when you type it in, you're either 29 degrees or you are 0 degrees. That's how that goes. There's no sign that sits on this line. But I understand what people mean, that you are close to being another sign. So if you're the end of Taurus, last day of Taurus, or some people who are May 20th may say, I'm a cusp. I don't really know which one I am. You are one or the other. You are not both of them. You are all of the signs, but when you come to your sun sign, you're going to be on one side of this line or you're going to be on the other side. It's very rare I see somebody directly on the cusp. Super, 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 super rare. All right. Comments, questions, feedback. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Oh, the rising sign, the rising sign, the rising sign. I'm going to always go back to the rising sign before I get up out of here. That's my warning label, folks, about, I'm going to go over that tomorrow, but y'all stay to the end. So we're going to do that right now, just for a quick second. Tomorrow I'm going to talk more about, rising sign and compatibility. Woo! My goodness gracious. Bow, 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 bow. It's a preview of tomorrow's class. I can do a smaller circle right here. Me. This right here is the horizon. All right. When the sun is making its journey, the sun is traveling in this direction. Right? That's why they call this Horus rising. Get a little into the English is horizon, but it's Horus rising. Okay? So when you were born, there was one of the 12 signs was on the horizon, right? And I'm not doing compatibility. Aries is compatible with themselves if they know themselves. Tomorrow we'll get into compatibility. I don't like, this ain't about everybody's always asking about compatibility versus transformation. Which one are you more interested in? Transforming and creating, or your relationships? This is so funny. What y'all want to know about? Who you compatible with, or how to transform and create? Back to the rising sign. The rising sign is going to dictate the rest of the chart. Thank you, Monique. Monique says, keep going. So it's very important that you understand that what is the energy of the rising sign, because the rising sign, the rising sign is like the car body. What does the body of the car tell you about a person when they pull up? And there's the engine. So there's the engine, there's the car body. What's the body of the car responsible for? Internally, it is to keep you safe and dry. That's really what the body of the car is for. But externally, the body of the car is identity. Not the engine is not how you identify a car. You don't even know what engine is in a car. But you look at the body and you already start making assumptions and start saying, oh, that's my car over there, the red one. That's my car, the green one. That's my car, the Porsche. That's my car, the Mercedes. Ooh, my dream car is this Porsche. Ooh, my dream car is this. Because to you, you're associating that, the body of the car, with identity. Is that important? Is that why it's important to know the time that you were born? Ding, 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 ding. You have to know the correct rising sign in order to know what the body is. If you're using the birth certificate time and the birth certificate time is wrong, and you come up in here and say, I'm an Aquarius, but you are actually a Pisces, or you're actually a Capricorn rising, then you're going to throw off the whole chart. You're going to throw off the entire chart. Right. So the body of the car is supposed to keep you safe and dry, but it's really identity. So when you pull up, so for instance, I'll just put Capricorn on here because I seen Tay. So if you're a Capricorn rising, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't know what his rising sign is. I'm going to do my own rising sign because I do know. I'm a Virgo rising, and I have Taurus ruling my 9th house. So my sun is in Taurus, my rising is Virgo, right? If I have a wrong rising sign, then I'm going to have my sun in the wrong house, and then I'm not going to be able to know me. I ain't going to be able to know my professors. I ain't going to be able to run my university like I'm supposed to. Who came to class last night? Press 2. If you came to class last night, press 2. If you didn't come to class last night, press 0. What is the chart? The chart is the university. What are the houses? The houses are the classrooms. What are the planets? The planets are the professors. What are the signs? The signs are the curriculum. And who are you? I'm the chancellor. Or I'm the president. I'm the CEO. Or I'm the HNIC. Right. So me, I'm the chancellor. These houses are the classrooms. The entire chart is the university. And what's the job of the university? The job of the university is to what? Produce graduates. And the graduates go get money. So that's why I say it's so important, because if you don't understand your chart, what happens? You ain't producing no money. A university says, I need to churn out students so they can produce more money for the country. When you come out of a university, you're supposed to be an ideal citizen. So you can go out there and make money, create money. You create industries and jobs so other people. Your astrology chart is your university. I guess I should have covered that right out the gate, right? That's right. But it makes money by producing graduates. How you going to produce a graduate? That's why people always, when they come talking about, oh, well, who's compatible with who? Who's compatible with that? Do you know your child's university? Do you know your university? That's why it's so important to read, knowing how to read the chart. We built pyramids when we had astrology in elementary school. When they took astrology out of elementary school, they put us in the projects. We came from pyramids to projects just by taking astrology out of the schools. Come on, man. That's why you got to come in here and know your basics. You got to know, in order to know your compatibility, you got to know you first. That's lazy. What's lazy when somebody just comes and say, is a Capricorn compatible with a Gemini, but you don't know who you are? You just lazy. That relationship ain't going nowhere anyway. That relationship you ain't gonna do nothing. I come from that. Hold on. Let me pause for a second. Let me get it trill one time. Let me get it real trill one time for y'all. Listen, I come from a household of parents who didn't know one another. They didn't know themselves. And then they went through and domestic violence, mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, spiritual abuse to each other and the children that they had. So if you're saying, why is he coming on here teaching astrology every night for a whole week? It's because of my mama and daddy, and you don't need to go through the bull jive that I went through, my sister went through, and my little brother went through, which is called dysfunction. A dysfunctional family is jacked up, son. That ain't what you want to do. My parents wasn't studying this. So before you start asking, oh, what about, it's too late. If you already got kids and you talking about who am I compatible with, then you hustling backwards. You need to say, well, what about me? What about me? You at the center of your universe, not your partner. What about you and your transformation? You get what you deserve. You don't know yourself, then you attract somebody who doesn't know yourself. Melanie Bay just did a video about well, I had done a video about why women keep having sex with dudes with low self-esteem. It's because they got low self-worth. If you got low self-worth, then you're going to attract a dude who got low self-esteem. That's the facts. And then you're going to mess around and have a baby with this joker. He got low self-esteem. And now y'all got a low self-esteem having baby. And then you wonder why these men is jacked up now. It's because they didn't understand this science, what I'm trying to share right now. So pay attention to understanding you and understanding astrology before you start trying to jump into a relation. A relationship is important, but if I don't know me, how am I going to communicate that in a relationship? Am I making any sense? That's what I want to know. Am I making any sense right now with what I'm talking about? Let's go back to class. Thank you very much. Man, everybody, who's I'm compatible with? What you gonna do when you meet them? If I told you who you were compatible with, what you gonna do when you meet them? Are you ready to meet them? Are you ready to do the work that it takes? Are you ready to do the work that it takes to keep them? This is the work that it takes to keep a relationship going, knowing these basics. Then when I understand the sun sign is the engine. That's all the sun does. That's all. What does the engine do in the car? What's the engine in the car do? The engine in the car gives you the horsepower. This is the ego. I got two blacks, and this is where I got the craziest. The engine is the ego. The engine is the ego. All right? That's the engine. It doesn't keep you safe and dry. It doesn't show who your identity is or who you relate to or nothing like that. The engine is where you get your power from. To make the back tire spin. You want the back tire to spin? You got to have some power. The drivetrain goes to the back tires or the front tires and moves the car. That's what the sun does. So when you get caught up in your sun sign and saying, oh, well, is my engine compatible with their engine? That's what you're really asking when you're saying, is Scorpio and Sag compatible? You're asking about, are two engines compatible? Wow. So anybody writing a book and you're reading and saying, so-and-so said that Leos and Tauruses aren't compatible. They're talking about engines. They ain't talking about the car. They can't talk about the car because they don't even know the right time to do the to come up with the birth chart. I'm going back to that right there. I'm going back to the birth chart. I'm not the birth chart. I'm going back to the rising sign. This other piece that's important. My apologies. Tomorrow I'm covering this rising sign tomorrow and birth. I'm just doing birth times tomorrow. Somebody remind me. That's all I'm doing. It's birth times tomorrow. That's all I'm doing. The whole flaw of the birth times. Astrologers out here just putting 12 o'clock, just doing whatever. It's the last one for the night, ladies and gentlemen. Vaginal entry into the world is normally what is the time on your birth certificate. Yep. Or you could call it time of arrival. All right. But that doesn't mean that's when you started breathing. Thank you, Key. I appreciate it. the soul enters the body on the first breath. So how in the world can the doctor know when the first breath is? I'm just going to ask you, what is this? To cry. What is, if the baby came out crying, then what happened? What's the prerequisite to cry? What must you have in order to cry? And if you just came on, please share the video. If you're interested in taking my astrology course, you can go to coachkastrology.info. Live free 50 is the promo code. Can somebody please type coachkastrology.info for folks and live free 50, the promo code? Get 50% off of every reading, which is relationships, which is your spiritual destiny, which is your full chart reading, your full astro strategy. And that's till the 17th, 50% off. Thank you. You got to be breathing. You got to be breathing in order to cry. So how long is a normal labor? 30 minutes. I know some people who've been in labor 30 hours. I know some people who've been in labor 30 hours. 5 hours. Anytime from the water breaking to vaginal entry into the world, the soul could have already entered the body. Right. So, %85 of the times on the time of arrival and the vaginal entry into the world are wrong, and they are not when the soul entered the body on the first breath. 85% of the charts have wrong rising signs. How you going to be able to dictate and run through a chart if I got the wrong, if 85% of the charts out here are wrong? The nurse don't know how to find out that. Most astrologers don't. 85% of the birth times on the birth certificate are wrong. Do you know the nurse that delivered you? What about the doctor? When's the last time you talked to the doctor that delivered you? You ever talk to your mom about like the whole process she went through to have you? She been waiting for you to get out 9 months. What about you? You got kids. If any of you ladies, how long you been in labor? Can some of y'all list some of your times that you were in labor? Right. And you could have been looking at the clock, man, like, man, it was 10:14 when that joker came out talking about some, wah, how long was you in labor? Man, I came in the hospital like the night before, like 11 o'clock. I was in labor about 12 hours. That child, he was just taking his time up in there. Like he didn't want to come out, like he didn't want to come in, like he didn't want to come through. Who was that? Kasha says, Kasha, do you still want to come on? I'm approving it. 90 minutes. I met her when you was 17. Right. When. So, 30 plus hours on the first one. So you don't know when that child started breathing. They got to get out. They got to have some things happen in life. And then you can start to see. That's why we go through the rectification process to make sure you got the right time of birth. So that comes with the astrology reading, no extra charge. You get the right time of birth. So when you go get a reading from somebody else, you leave me not only with a complete reading, but you go also take your time with you. Then you know for sure, how much is that worth to you? I got the right time of birth. My birth certificate said 2:30, but actually it was 10:19. You feel me? I thought I hit approve. If you want to come on, you got a comment or question. I think I'm going to start doing is letting people come on and just ask me questions about their chart. Tomorrow we might just do that. Y'all want to do that tomorrow? Yeah. I think I'm coming on at lunchtime. I had a lot to do today. Today was just pew, 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 pew. Tonight is going to be pew, 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 too. All right. So check it. I appreciate everybody who came on. If you coming on late, boy, do you have a lot of stuff that we got to go, that you can go back over and watch, take it from the top. Faux show. That's all we did was the dry erase board series. Bye now. My reading made more sense after the correction. Thank you. Birth times tomorrow. Yes. And compatibility. Jokers want to talk about that. So tomorrow I'm gonna just go back over the lesson we did yesterday. We're gonna go over the compatibility. We're gonna do signs. We're gonna do the houses again. We're gonna do births. We're gonna do the time of birth, and then we're gonna do a little bit of compatibility. Okay. That's it. What up, Michelin? How you feeling? All right. And then if somebody wants to come on, they got their chart information, we'll come on and we'll talk about it. What up, Miss Jackson? Sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real about to get out of here. All right, so I appreciate everybody that came on. Please catch the replay. Thank you for sharing. I found you in peace. I'm going to leave you in prayer. On a scale of 1 to 10, how helpful was this to you? If you caught most of it. 10, I really learned something. And tell me what you learned tonight. What is it that you learned about transforming through opposites? That was the topic. The topic tonight was Astro 101, transforming through opposites, transforming and creating through opposites. All right? That's what we went over this evening. So what was the one thing that you learned tonight that you can take with you, that you can just be like, bam? And you doing all this without even going through the planets or nothing. If you know your sun sign, you should be able to know about creating through opposites. Reggie, I only did an 8? You must have been late, Reggie. Well, it's okay. I'm just joking. 8s are wonderful. That's better than a 0. All right. So thank you. Don't forget CoachKAstrology.info. Live free 50 for 50% off all the way until the 17th. All right. 17th at midnight. You can come through. Many blessings. Thank you. I'm going to go back and listen when I get home. Word. I like it when y'all come through and y'all at work. Oh, Mr. Charlie, y'all over here trying to get this astrology. I appreciate it. Abdul Kul Tafalatat, Wabazun, Gamma Farragoon, Shilel Kaloon. I am in the love of all, and all love is in me. I am a part of all, and all is a part of me. I am one with all, and all is one with me. I can succeed as a part of all and fail as an individual. I can be all that I wish in all as long as my wish is to stay in all. I am never alone. All is, I am. All can, I can. All does, I do. Istanje ilaku. Anabakoa, Gijalakiminka, Tatia Tezara, Kabel Renat, Amcha Sagvanu, Taharanu Nara, Nagibor, the Shea Kadeka, Kavava Shamra, Barkam Taram, Rakame, the Zika Tamid Gamlin, Kasim Kadosh, Baru, Tufka, Nahela Teka, Yakit Gehel, Amchapanez, Craig Katushka Teka, Shavatanuka Bel, Ushma, Tazakatanu, Yodea Talamot, Baruch Shem, Kavomakuto, Alam Vae. I also saw all of the prayer requests that people put on the page. So I'm going to come on in the morning time and I'm going to just do a big prayer over all the prayer requests that people had for like today. I put that up this morning. I just feel that some people, sometimes you need somebody to pray over you, or it's like, it's good to get prayer from somebody else who got different eyes and fresh energy on the situation. I need prayer from people. I got people praying for me. So I said the least I can do is pray for y'all. In the morning, I think I got an 11 o'clock appointment. So it's going to be before 11 when I come do the prayer. I'm coming on in the morning to do the prayer, and then I'm going to come back on in the afternoon, 1 o'clock, to do the astrology class. I'm going to do the astrology in the afternoon. I'm going to do the prayer in the morning. All right? Monique is like, play. I ain't playing with you. What time you gonna be here? So absolutely, man. I just saw a whole lot of things. I saw a lot of people talking about financial burdens. Yeah, financial burdens was like really, really big. So yeah, tomorrow we definitely gonna come in strapped up, Jade Emperor, and we're gonna really put some prayers out there for some folks. Clarity too. I think people need clarity. That's why dealing with your chart, man. A lot of people who don't understand why you ain't having a financial breakthrough is because you doing the wrong thing. You ain't up on how to read your chart. You are like you don't know you. So you having financial blockages because you don't know who you are. It ain't somebody else holding you back. And sometimes my prayer can only do but so much. My prayer can only do but so much for you because you don't know you. My big prayer should be that you know you. That I do something to inspire you, that you say, I want to go study. I created this course that, trust me, this right here does not pay my bills. It goes, you know what I'm saying, contributes, but like selling one course or two courses, that don't take care of my livelihood. Right. I made this course for my nephew, Vincent. Vincent is 10. He'll be 11 this year. And he's going to start studying this year on his birthday. And for the next 5 years, I'm going to make him into a master astrologer. So when he's 16, he's going to know everything I know. Well, he's going to at least know everything he know. So he ain't going to be able to have financial blocks. He's going to be able to pick up his chart and be like, oh, okay, I see that, you know, I see Saturn is holding up over here. I got the moon is going to be over here at this particular time. I'm going to know this, that, and the third. Like, I don't have no time for none of my family members to not be armed up. My sister's not interested, but my nephew, he interested in everything I'm doing. Your kids are like that blank slate, and they just like, ooh, I want to learn. So me, I'm on here so you can get inspired, and then get to the babies. That's the facts. Why is my camera looking crazy? I got to get another phone. I have a class, Coach K Astrology. You scroll down. There is an astrology class. You get it for the whole family. You just getting here. Yes. The astrology course is lifetime access and it's for your whole family. Yes. Why do punishment when you can make them study astrology? Your last Saturn return. You normally only going to have 2 because they're every 29 years. If you had three Saturn returns, you don't have a Saturn return every year. You only have 2, and you good and lucky or blessed to have 3. That's like you'll be like 89 years old when you having that last one. What's that? Yeah, 87, something like that. Yeah. Right. Go to CoachKAstrology.info. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. See that right there? CoachKAstrology.info. Put in Live Free 50. You get 50% off the course until the 17th. Yep. And if you got questions, just hit me on the inbox. I appreciate everybody for coming through tonight. What up, Dana? Oh, man, I still got to holler at you, Dana, to get my necklace repaired. Let's get up tomorrow, baby. All right. Peace. When you had your first Saturn return, you weren't 31 when you had it. You were finished with it at 31. Right. You were finished with your Saturn return at 31. You didn't just get started at 31. You finished it. Right. You're welcome. All right. What do we do? If you're in a Saturn return right now, boy, that might be class for tomorrow. Saturn returns. Saturn returns and Uranus oppositions. Saturn returns and Uranus oppositions. and retrogrades. That's tomorrow's class. Saturn returns, Uranus oppositions, and retrogrades. Thank you. I might do some compatibility, maybe, but that can be Friday or something like that. Birth charts. I don't know what you mean, birth charts. You mean how to read a birth chart? I'm giving y'all so much game right now. A new training module. I don't know what that means. Oh, birth charts. I mean, all of this is about birth charts, but I'm going to show you about Saturn return in the birth charts. You got some understanding now, but I'm going to give you some specifics tomorrow. No, I'm praying in the morning, doing an astrology class on here for free in the afternoon. But I'm telling you the subject is going to be, I just changed my mind just that fast. Saturn return, Uranus oppositions, and retrograde. What was I supposed to be doing, Monique? Because if I don't write it down, I'll forget it. You see, I didn't write it down. I just wrote down Saturn returns, Uranus oppositions, and retrogrades. What am I supposed to be doing tomorrow? I better write that down. Monique, do I got to scroll back up? I'm trying to scroll back up. What did I say? Oh, birth times. Okay, birth times, Saturn return. Birth times, Saturn returns, Uranus oppositions, and retrogrades. Birth times, rising signs. Boy, y'all trying to get a lot out of me, ain't you? My Cash App is wide open too. I do take donations. Cash App, Coach Khayr. Yes. Yes. My cat. Yes. Birth times, rising signs, Saturn return, Uranus oppositions, and retrogrades. Got to check in with my boss. Thank you, Monique. See? Birth times and rising signs, Saturn returns, Uranus oppositions, and retrogrades. I got it written down. All right. And compatibility. Is the Cash App? I bet you tomorrow. Let's put the Cash App up here. Reggie, am I wrong for putting the Cash App up here? Woo. Nope. Let me see how many people are gonna give me $2 or $3 for the night's class. I'm just saying. Coach Khayr is the Cash App. It's all good. Compatibility. Hey, but I love doing this though. I love doing this. But I am open to receiving too. Absolutely, man. If you got something, share it with the world. And let them share back with you. Facts. What's up, Rita? Bridget said, ain't nothing wrong with that. That Cash App. I want y'all to get that bankroll popping. I gotta go. Y'all, I really appreciate this because y'all let my mind just stir, and keep my ideals popping. So I'm going to go right out my goals. I gotta reset my phone and keep it popping. All right. See y'all later. Peace.